Jace. What's up, everybody? This is Rashid, and this is the Ages of Staging podcast. I am your host, again, Rashid, the Car God, from Ready to Love Season 2, Last Resort. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We got a great panel tonight. We're going to get started here in a second. We're going to let all the guys get in, get prepared, make sure our mics and our cameras and lighting is all set up. But again, thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the people that's been waiting. If you don't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it, and it helps our analytics. And again, if you didn't join us last time, we had a great time, great discussion. We talked a little bit of Ready to Love, but we want to talk to the guys a little bit of life after Ready to Love and kind of what makes us, motivates us, and makes us tick, and what do we talk about in the barbershop. So ladies, if you're tuning in, get your paper and pencil out. Take some notes if you want to hear from a guy's perspective in the barbershop. So I set this up so where this could be kind of an open space for guys to talk like we're in the barbershop with no women around. So we're letting you in a sneak peek inside the barbershop. All right. So give us a few minutes and we'll be right back. Not even a few minutes. We get ready to get it going. All right, y'all. Let's do it. All right. We're about to bring all my guys in here real quick. Let's bring them in. Let's add them. Boom. Let's get all my guys in here. All right. Boom. All right. So welcome to another episode of Ages of Stages, the podcast. And I've got the guys panel tonight. This is the Barbershop Talk, and we're about to get it popping. So thank you guys for everybody for joining us. We're going to give our introductions. If you don't know some of these guys, I'll be happy to introduce them. And this is all from various seasons of Ready to Love. We got the OG in the building, the triple OG. We got Brent in the building. What's up, Brent?
What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you? Thank you for joining us. When I reached out, man,
Pleasure.
Brent jumped in right away and decided he would join us, man. So I'd love to hear from Brent, the OG, the triple OG of Ready to Love. And then we got my castmate, KG Smooth, was also with me on Ready to Love Last Resort. And he was also on the Houston cast, season 3 and 4. So, you know, he's the most experienced of the group. Everybody welcome KG Smooth to the chat.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's up, Brent? What up, Jason?
What it is, man? What up, bro?
And right now we got joining us Jason Hearns. He was on the Houston season 4 of Ready to Love, and he's becoming an OG too because there's a couple seasons that's gone by now. So he's got a little experience in Ready to Love.
What up?
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And we're waiting on Dante from DC. So I don't know if you guys have met. So y'all say y'all pleasantries and all that kind of stuff. But I have the pleasure to know everybody on the panel. I don't know if you guys have met each other.
No,
I have not met Brent. What up, man?
Pleasure. What's up, brothers? How y'all doing?
Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. All is well, brother.
Yeah, we good.
I'm jealous of salt and pepper, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I take the beard like all day long. I mean, salt and pepper, I don't care, but like I can't go.
Mine is starting to come in, and I don't know how I feel about it. Like I'll look and I'll be
salt
like,
and pepper.
But I know that the ladies love it, but also like,
yeah.
I'm just now beginning to gray at 43 years old, and so it's like it's an adjustment. So I don't know what I want to do yet.
So let's ask the question.
Go ahead
though. Like,
and embrace it.
Right. So when you first started getting the salt and pepper, Brent, were you like, did you embrace it? You like, oh shit, I'm getting old. Like, what the hell? Or do you like?
Yeah, bro. Like I was like, I fought it till I couldn't fight it no more. I fought the good fight. You know, I started graying pretty early though, and I probably really started when I was in like my college years. But I started dyeing my hair. Yeah, I started dyeing my hair probably like around 29. And then, you know, so I was blacking it out, beard, everything.
Yeah.
And then I grew my hair out, and this is probably around 35. And I'm like, okay, I want to switch it up, let my hair grow out. And then got tired of that style. And then I cut it off. But when I cut it off, it was all gray.
Okay.
At that point, it was like, oh man. And so, I started, rocking that, and then the ladies started responding like, "Oh, I like
Okay,
that, the little salt and pepper thing you got going on there." And so I'm like, okay, I might have to, stick with this. This might be my new look. So
right, for sure.
it's just
Hey,
been
the
like that ever
stuff we
since.
do for the ladies, like if we hear compliments from the ladies, we're like, okay, well, let me keep this going. Then I must be working with something. So I got a similar story, but not with the salt and pepper. When I was going bald, I went bald at an early age. I'll never forget this. I will not forgive my college teammate to this day. So this is our senior year in college. We play our rivalry game, right? I played at Alabama A&M, and Alabama State is our rival. So one of my homeboys, he's a head coach in high school in Birmingham right now. Shout out to him. They playing for the state championship. Anyway, he was like, yo, let's cut our hair off for the game. Let's go let's cut our hair off. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do it. Whatever. Man, to this day, I'm mad at him right now. My hair did not grow back right ever since. And I'm still mad at him. It's on site every time I see him. But anyway, man, so we're going to get into the topics, man. For those of you who don't know, I get a lot of questions about Brent. Who is Brent? Where is Brent? So Brent was in the second season of Ready to Love ATL. So the cornerstone franchise of Ready to Love started in Atlanta. So real briefly, Brent, introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are and what season, and tell them, who you are and what you got going on.
All right, no doubt. Hello, everybody. My name is Brent Nashawn. Yep, like you said, season 2 of Ready to Love Atlanta. I was one of the finalists. Definitely was some good exposure, and got to meet a lot of great people, great experience. From there, I've kind of branched off to doing some other things. I was always an entrepreneur, but then I started to get into some other things like fashion, as well as coaching and fitness training. And then currently I'm in real estate as well. So kind of have my hands in a few different baskets, but every day, I'm doing my commercial real estate thing. So that's my bread and butter right now.
Yeah, shout out to that, man. I saw you join Caldwell Banker recently, man. So congratulations on that, man.
Appreciate that.
Me and you keep in touch, man. So I'm happy for that move for you. And we got Dante in the building. Let's say what up to Dante. Dante Smith in the building. Appreciate you for joining us.
What's going on?
This is the most recent member of Ready to Love that just finished up DC. Thank you for joining us, Dante.
Hey, man. Thank y'all for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be amongst fellow RTL alumni.
Right. So we're just getting started, Dante, kind of breaking down who people are. If you don't know Brent's the triple OG from Atlanta cast. Okay. So he's a senior man present as it relates to Ready to Love. He's just kind of introducing himself, man. And like when I extended the invite to you guys, I mentioned to you, obviously our platform was Ready to Love, and we appreciate everybody who knows us and follows us and roots for us from Ready to Love. But at this point, sometimes we want to deviate from that because we get tired of regurgitating the same type of stuff and same information. So I want to give the ladies a sneak peek or behind the curtain scenes of the barbershop talk. We're just gonna have barbershop talk and talk amongst ourselves as men, and we're just gonna get into it. But for the first part, again, our notoriety for the most part is from Ready to Love. So we're gonna talk real briefly about Ready to Love. So I'm gonna start with Brent because he was already talking. So we'll kind of go in with Brent. So if you don't know, Brent was a finalist of Ready to Love, the second season from Atlanta. And you did leave with a young lady. So kind of tell us about who you left with and how that ended up, and then where you are now. Are you dating or are you single? You still out here
Well, yeah, I think people who are fans of the show know that I ended up matching up with Alexis or whatever. And didn't really work out.
Right.
And so went our separate ways or whatever. And then, met another beautiful woman that I'm currently seeing right now. I'm currently with.
Okay.
So things are going well,
That's what's up, man. Congratulations on the new relationship.
Appreciate that.
How long y'all been together,
bro?
How long y'all been together?
Thank you. Probably about 8 months or so, like something like that.
Oh man, that's what's up. I love it.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's up. All right. So let's move on. Let's catch up. Let's do our RTL follow up with Mr. KG Smooth, the voice of the night. If y'all don't know, this is the voice of 102.1 Magic 102.1, the Quiet Storm. KG, how you been, man? How's life after RTL? You know, everybody wants to know what's your status with Amber and everything's going on from there. Kind of fill us in, catch everybody up that want to know, man.
Yeah, man. Things are going great. After me and Amber walked off, dated for a while. We had broke up right before Thanksgiving. Some things, transpired.
The holidays?
But,
it's cuffing season, man.
Couldn't get the turkey first, man.
Right, man. You couldn't wait till after New Year's? No.
Yeah, so that ship has sailed right now. Just focusing on my wine that I just launched a few months ago.
Right.
Quiet Storm, Island Vibes Moscato. It's a Moscato wine crafted by Signature Sips, which is a company here in Houston, Black owned. So shout out to Hope Foster. And so just pushing these bottles and encouraging people to listen to the Quiet Storm as they sip on the Quiet Storm.
Turn up. So absolutely, we're going to talk about the website and we're going to plug that even more before we end tonight. But congratulations on the wine. I love that,
Thank
man.
you.
Congratulations on that. You're doing big things. I love that. So let's move on to, we're going to go in chronological order. Let's go to Jason, man. I mean, as far as the appearances on the episode. So Jason, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. Me and Jason know each other from a lot of different people. And when we started talking, it's like, man, we know a lot of people, got a lot of friends and family in common. So we've known each other with 7 degrees of separation, man. So let's talk about it, man. We already know what it is. The elephant in the room. How's your relationship right now? Everybody knows that you finished your season with Liz. And unfortunately, your business and y'all's relationship got put out in the blogs. So with that being said, I want to give you the platform. I don't really have any true questions for you, man.
Yeah.
Just anything you want to talk about, anything you want to set straight and talk about your relationship or your experience on Ready to Love and how things festered and happened after the season.
Nah, but yeah, so as y'all already know, season 4 Houston, I was the guy in the love triangle with Kyra and Liz.
Right.
I finished the season with Liz and everything was cool. Unfortunately, things didn't work out. Some things didn't line up to what was said, during the process, but Liz is a great young lady, but yeah, no, that didn't work out. Gotcha. As far as what I'm doing currently, I honestly, I got back into education.
Nice.
Shortly after the show ended, I did a couple commercials, and then I went into technology. I worked for a technology firm. Did that for a little while, and I decided my calling's back into education in the classroom. So
nice.
That's what I'm doing. Also, my nonprofit. Shout out to Imani School. We'll be starting our programs back up shortly at the Imani School as far as our sports program. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Got you, man. Got you. So when you say, man, and that's another thing that you had in common. I was a teacher as well in education before I got into the car business.
Yeah.
So shout out to that because I know. Shout out to all my teachers and educators. I know your plight. So for sure. So it's tough. It's tough. So you mentioned something about things didn't line up with you and Liz. Do you care to expand on that? Or explain what those were?
Yeah. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was just some things that were said. As far as what she did, who she was. It just didn't line up at the time when we were after, so this is what I tell people. What you see on camera versus what you see in real life when the cameras are off are 2 different things. And a lot of times what the fans got to understand is once that show is over, that's where the nit and gritty starts. That's when you really get to know a person. That's when you really understand, who they are, where they come from, and they learn that from you. So in that process of getting to, do that with her, it's just some things that just didn't align. She's a great young lady, but we just didn't match.
Okay. I mean, it is what it is because as we know, we all been there. This is a hybrid dating show. This is like, I think about like in summer school and college, like one day is a week. Like I remember though having to cram all that stuff in. That's how we are put in the situation as relationships. And then it can be the good or the bad thing as you're gonna see once you step outside of that, cameras are off, and then you have to like, okay, so now what do we do? Like now it's time to really try to get to know each other. And it's okay if it doesn't work out. You know, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
And one of the things I would say during the process, you know, KJ, you may know, I think we were like doing it for about 6 or 7 weeks of just the filming production portion. Man, I had a lot of dates. I did over like 20 something dates. I was a busy man, and
they didn't show them.
Oh no, they listen. They didn't show a fraction of what I did. And it makes sense because at the end of the day, it's a show, and they gotta make a show, and it has to make sense to the viewers. So they're gonna focus on the connections that, you know, an individual has. And, you know, fortunately for me, I was lucky to have 2 with, you know, Kyra and Liz. So just doing that whole process for me, it was just trying to figure out who was the best possible match for me. Shout out to Kyra, lovely young lady. You know, one thing I would say is we had a lot in common, and I know that a lot of viewers didn't get a chance to see that. But we had a lot of great moments. At the same time, it was the same for Liz and I as well. So for me, it was just a matter of picking the individual that I felt in that moment, in that time, that was best for me.
Right, understood. I feel you.
He really was struggling because when we did the when we had the ranch, when we were filming at the ranch, like, and we roomed together, and he was, you know, letting me know how tough it was, and I saw it in his face. I felt it in his energy. So it really was tough for him, regardless of what people want to, you know, say or what they think.
For sure. So last thing, Jason, and we're just, like I said, I told you guys, first few minutes are Ready to Love. We're gonna get on with life. So last thing, is there anything that you want to clear up? I know there's people saying that there was a baby out there and all this kind of stuff. Is there anything that you want to set straight, clear your name, or just whatever you want to say in regards to that?
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because I found that out, I want to say late November. Where's the baby at? So let's just nip all that in the bud. Wasn't seeing nobody during the process. Wasn't talking to anybody after the process other than Liz. Wasn't sexually active. I'm gonna just put it all out there. There is no baby. There is no woman that is pregnant with my baby. If it is, where point her out.
Right.
You're not the pappy.
Right. You ain't that daddy pappy. I'm
and I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, man. You know, to be transparent, you go from being a working person to being on national TV. And you have a lot of people in your past that probably don't even want to see you on that platform. And to get the success that you get on that platform, you know, that shakes some nerves. And then you also got to take in accountability. You may have some cast members that feel a certain way about you, maybe some envy there. So it can be people just throwing all kind of things because they don't want to see you shine, or they, you know, just misinformation because they heard this, but really they switch up the words or whatever. But just to reiterate, man, no baby, no baby mama, no mistress. That is not the issue why Liz and I broke it off. You know, when I broke up with Liz, you know, I explained to her what my reasonings were. And that was that. You know, again, shout out to Liz. You know, God bless her family. But, you know, that's definitely not the case as far as having a baby or cheating or any of that. So,
got you. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you doing that because, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of things misunderstandings.
The DMs are real,
right? I bet.
Still,
right. All right, Jason. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that because, you know, it's a lot. So anyway, man, let's move on, man. I appreciate that, Jason. All right. So the newest member of the RTL family, we got Dante Smith in the building. They just finished rapping, you guys. Their finale was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so now. And he left with a young lady by the name of Aisha, and they had a great you saw a lot from their show. And I thought they looked well. I thought they did a good job on the show and they looked well matched for each other. But let him speak on that. So Dante, man, welcome to the show again, man. Ready to Love. How's your experience? You left with Aisha. How are things going now? And kind of tell us how the dating was with you on there and all that you guys went through to get to the point to where you guys are now.
Well, for the most part, we didn't get a chance to go on dates together initially early on in the process, but we talked on the phone, we connected, and we had good chemistry. And then you guys, what most people saw, because this season was probably the most season where it was like, where that connection come from? Like,
I saw that. A lot of people
like him, he like her, and it was just so much that a lot of people missed. And similar to what Jason said, there was a lot of dates that you all did not see. A lot of people get to go on. So the retreat really got an opportunity to get to know Aisha, feel her out, be around her, but also see how.
Boy, did you feel her out? All right.
Other women, right? So it was an interesting night at the retreat with everything that was going on and off the camera. And out of all of my connections that was there, Sadia, Shiloh, Aisha, she shined the brightest in that department.
That's awesome.
And, we left the process together, and like you said, once the cameras and the lights cut, then that's when like the real work. Now, dates and this is stuff like you have to make the dates now. Now you have to go on the dates. Now you have to communicate. You have to make time for this. Also, put in what you got going on with work and family and everything else, because usually during that process, you pretty much block everything out in order to be a part of that process.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I feel that, man. I feel that.
Things is going good. We working, just like any other, people in a relationship. We working, we grinding, making it happen, and doing what we can do to, make sure that we do what's best for one another.
Got you. Okay, man. Well, cool, man. I love that. I love that. So congratulations for you guys. From on screen, I haven't had the pleasure to meet the young lady, but she looks very genuine, very real, and like a real solid helpmate that'll be in your corner, man. So I'm rooting for you guys, man.
Yeah.
So let's move on, guys. All right. So RTL's out the way. Let's talk about now we're really in the barbershop. All right. So that leads me to this. Dante, you talked about you have to do some of your own dating now. In the process of dating, I was just talking to a buddy of mine. A lot of times I get these conversations just from talking to guys and just being around. Mandatory time wasting. Are you over it or is it necessary? Who wants to go first?
Mandatory time wasting. What does that
mean? In the beginning, mandatory time wasting. All right, so when you meet a young lady, you got to do the phone calls, the text, the call you good night, text you how was your morning, maybe send the flowers, go to the dates, go meet the mom, go to places that you don't want to go, like go to the opera, go stuff like that, to try to get to further down the road till y'all can get in a real relationship. So it's all the surface level stuff that sometimes can get to some guys can be annoying or like too much of like pomp and circumstance. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I don't think it's time wasting. I mean, I guess that's just a part of the process of getting to know somebody. You just got to do, those little things come along with the territory in terms of courting.
Right, exactly. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I would definitely say. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brent.
I was gonna say, if you think you're wasting time, then maybe you're not with the right individual. I mean, I feel like if you're really truly vibing with that person, and you guys have things in common, you're able to communicate, on a level that's, that you both kind of understand each other and getting to know each other, then it's not really wasting time. You're really just kind of more so being intentional and investing your time where it really needs to be.
Right. So let me ask a follow-up. No, Jason, go ahead. You were about to say something.
No, I was pretty much what Brent said. If the person first, I don't know any man that's going to go out of his way for a woman he's not interested in. Spending money, spending time. That's an investment, man. And why are you wasting your time with somebody you don't have no intention on, really seeing
Facts.
someone down the road. So it's just, common sense to me.
Yeah, time is the most valuable asset that we got. Money and all that. Your time and where you spend it and what you do with your time. If you spending that time with that person, making time for them, then that's the investment. That's you showing that you're willing to put in the work.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I would piggyback on what you guys saying. Like it seems like all of us, that's why I've reached out. All of us are like-minded men. And we've always been kind of taught to be the hunter, to be the aggressor when we want to go after a woman and show them that we are interested and we want to court them. I guess that question also, the back end of that question is now you're starting to see or hear a lot of women just going out for dinner dates, just to use you for a date, for dinner, things of that nature. Have you experienced that, or have you heard some of your boys talk about that? And do you think you could tell if that was their only objective?
Any internet app date, Tinder, Bumble, all them, some of them be dinner dates. I done been on some dates when I was going on dates.
There we go. Right. All right.
Be like, well, yeah, at least he paid for dinner. I need to eat today, girl. I got a 10 o'clock dinner date. I see you later. I'm about to get some wings from this spot because I know we going there. So there is some women that do take advantage of it. That say, I'm gonna go out. I know the man's gonna court me. I know he's gonna put in the time. He's gonna take me out to eat, and I'm gonna eat what I want. Worst case scenario, if I don't like him, I got a free meal. Maybe I get a free meal and a connection. So they get it good.
Yeah, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah, I would say this, fellas, man. 9 times out of 10, what I've learned with, I call it that fly-by-day type stuff, man. You can tell by the conversation, where their intent is at, because when you're on that date with that person, they're only going to allow that conversation to go so far. They're not going to get deep dive into their personality, who they really are.
Let you know who they really are.
Yeah, because they're not interested in you in the first place. So it's just more so paying attention. Don't just be enamored by her beauty and what you think she is. Listen to what's coming out of her mouth, and you can kind of make your moves accordingly. So
got you.
You know what? Cool, for me lately, and I'm being honest, and I don't know how the ladies are going to feel about this, but they have been paying for my dinner. They asked me out, and they.
Oh shit! Here we go. Okay. I just pull that one off. Please, my guy. Okay, Quinn. To it. Hey, sip drink.
You're a celebrity now.
Drink on that one.
I mean that. That's
go ahead. I mean, so how does that work? So I'm sure it's probably a shock to you. Do they tell you up front, or when it's over, you're about ready to pay, and they're like, "Nah, I got it," or like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah. They'll ask me out. I mean, like, because normally, I go through. I like the whoever asks a person out pays rule.
Okay,
but that's just So, for example, this one young lady came in from Arizona. And and we've had a little.
We had to see you.
Well, she was here to handle some business, but she reached out saying that she was going to be in town and that she wanted to go out, have dinner, spend a little time. So I was like, all right. So we met up at a spot, an Ethiopian spot here in Houston, which was dope. And as it was done, I'm about to pull it out. She was like, no, I got this. I asked you out, so I'm paying for this. I was like, oh, okay. And then about 3 weeks ago, another young lady hit me up like, hey, I've been trying to get at you. Like, let's link up. And so, we did. And when we go to the spot, and again, I'm going to pay. And she was like, nah, I got this. And I said, oh.
Okay. So
KG.
Right. So I'm going to ask the guys this in a second, but I want to ask you this first, KG. When that first happens, one, what do you do? And two, how does that make you feel?
To be honest, I was like, really? Because we're so stick to the traditional way of doing things. But I also know that Black women are the most educated, the most highly paid, and nowadays coming into their own and are aggressive and going for what they want. And I'm not mad at that, and I'm gonna let you be you. As I said on the show, like I'm not here to change nobody. That's not my place. That's not my position. Right. So if they genuinely want to do it, and even though I may insist like, no, let me. But they double down, then I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Right. Wow. So, fellas, how did y'all feel in that situation? Lady, I got you. I got this. First date, right? First date, KG, right?
Mm-hmm.
First date. How would you feel? Yeah. How would you feel if that happened, and what would you do?
I mean, I don't think I've ever been in that situation before.
Yeah,
On the first date.
Not on first date.
That's nice, KG.
Not on the first
bad,
date.
Dante. My bad, bro.
Oh no, you good. It's happened to me before, and like KG said, you double down. Like, no, like, don't worry, that's nonsense. Like, I got this. We out, and she'll pay for it, and I'll be like, okay, kind of a turn on, like in a way. I'm like, all right, I like that. Woman going for what she know, letting her interest speak by paying, and then what I would do with the money that I was already anticipating on paying, I would take that money and maybe add something on to the rest of the date. Like, I planned on spending some money on you here, so maybe I'll, buy something for you, some flowers late tomorrow or something. Thank you for the date, the money that was gonna go. So you just got to be creative with that, especially if the interest is there.
I like that.
If the interest is there, then that's what you're gonna do. So it's mutual, because at the end of the day, if we courting each other and it's a partnership, then we both gonna work to earn each other.
I like that.
From my perspective, that's never happened to me before. And quite honestly, man, I don't know what I would do in that situation, man. I'd be adamant, like, nah, I'm not, because I don't know. Like you said, KG, like traditionally, that's been the answer, right? I mean, it's been ingrained in us to do that. So I don't know. It would almost feel like I wouldn't want that held against me later. Does that make sense? Not even saying that person would do that. That's never happened to me. But if it's happened to me, if me and a young lady were already dated and we were dating together and like we've been on multiple dates, and she goes, "Hey, I got this one this time, babe." That's happened to me, and I'm okay with that. Like, okay, cool, no problem. All right, then I'll get the next 15 or what, what I'm saying, whatever. But that's never happened to me.
Listen, they are aggressive. I had one of my second wine tasting that I had. A young lady was in town. She was like, "I came here for you. I came here to taste your wine." And then once it was about to be over, she was like, "I'm here till Tuesday."
She will taste your wine.
Yeah, she was like, "I'm here till Tuesday." This was on a Sunday. She was like, "I'm here till Tuesday. I would like to get together tomorrow before I fly out on Tuesday morning and take you out." And I was like,
"And take you out." She said it.
She said she was straight up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll see you tomorrow."
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, the comments are on fire, but I love that. We just.
I know. I'm sure they think I'm still cheap with me
we're
saying
in the barbershop.
I'm sure.
Nah, KG, you done came up, man. Forget that.
Yeah, we're in the barbershop, man.
Hey,
Boys got wines out.
I'm gonna let them think what they want to. Okay.
All right, let's move on. So I also get the background topics from females that I know, female friends of mine. So I was talking to a homegirl of mine today. She was saying she had just met a dude. They had one date, right? And then the next subsequent phone conversation, he's talking about how he likes his D-suck. And she was completely turned off. Like, it wasn't even in the context of that. So I try to ask some follow-up questions. Like, was he saying he likes that versus penetration? Does he like that as a precursor? Or is that all he wants? Like, what's going on? So here's my question. When do you jump in to start talking about sex with a new prospective date or a new lady that you're courting and you want to date? Like, do you feel a vibe? Do you feel her energy? Or do you have sounded like dude had a playbook and he was just going by, all right, I say this, X, Y, Z, and it backfired completely. So y'all give y'all's feedback on that. When is it too soon for the sex convo when you're just getting to meet somebody? Or is it too soon?
Flow. I mean, that would have to be like a flow. But I mean, when you getting to know someone, you're getting to know who they are as a person, and their likes, dislikes, kind of how y'all vibe. Now, if the conversation flows to that and it's mutual, then okay. But if it's like, I'm going to be intentional about, make sure that, it's second night and I'm supposed to talk about playbook says we're going to talk about sex, but I mean, So it really just depends on the conversation, because some people have more of a sexual chemistry with each other, and
Right.
people who get married, they finish the journey, and that's just how they connect. Some people more of intellectual, so I think it really depends on the person that you pair with and what you all's connection is going to be. Because I don't think there's no way that you can define how a connection is supposed to be or the conversations, but if it flows to that and it's mutual, then and it's both parties. Two people can be grown if they want to talk about what they want to talk about.
Right. So
the key is you just don't want to come off thirsty.
That's
the quickest way to run a woman away. Is coming off too thirsty, too eager. You got plenty of time to get to that. Like I said, now again, if she's throwing you the box, then it's up to you whether or not you want to take it or
box.
Right. But on normal situations, normal dates, you don't want to seem too eager, too thirsty. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of want to just focus on her and be really into her and getting to know her, and then let that come when it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I have a question. So I want to make sure I understand. She said that happened on the first date. He started talking about that.
No, they had a date and they talked that night after each person got home from the date. They talked on the phone.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I think honestly, I don't think that's G. I think it's that's premature. I do agree with the sexual chemistry and all that, but I think more so it should flow. And let that action do the talking, man. I think like when you start talking too soon about that, man, it just reveals what your hand is, what you really want, what your angle is.
Right, and that's what her thing was. That's what turned her off. And this is a professional, educated, multiple degreed woman.
Yeah,
she has her own. And one thing I would say about situations like this, when guys do things like that, or it's worked for him one time before. You know what I mean by that? He might have said that to 30 women, and it worked one time, and he thinks that's the rule. It's just like the dude in the club that hollers at everything, that he don't let nothing pass. He might holler at a 10, and he might be a 4, but he gonna shoot the same shot every single time because it didn't happen. He didn't struck gold one time, and he thinks it's gonna happen again. And I think that's what that was. It didn't happen. It worked for him one time, and he thinks now that's the
he thought it could work every time.
Right.
Yeah. Not the move. I'm with y'all. Y'all gotta
that boy
gotta fill it out.
He's selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, man. That boy just man.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic, guys.
You got to feel it out. If that's the energy and the vibe that's coming, and you ease into that conversation, then we ease into it. You got to use finesse. You just can't come out, and you know what I'm saying. So it's definitely a vibe energy thing that you got to follow through.
For sure.
And just one last thing.
Go ahead.
With guys, women like that, and people like that in general, whether it's an online date, I've known guys. I had a guy in Chicago. We used to call him the Pop Daddy. He was on the website, Plenty of Fish. Yeah. So he would just send, he would copy and paste and send everything to the same women and wait until he hit.
Copy and paste.
Hey, so but especially on the internet nowadays, because how dating is, I'm gonna just keep shooting these balls, because he might have 5 or 10 other women that he's also courting, that he's just trying to see. That's what his intention is sex. And he's, like you said, he's just putting his hand. But nowadays, a lot of guys who just want that, they're gonna show their hand and just keep pitching.
Right. So last question that relates to the sex conversation. So, and then we'll move on. Everybody wants to know, KG, are you still practicing semen retention? Is that what you call it?
Yeah. I am actually. Yesterday was 2-2.
Jason's face.
So if you all must know, ladies, I did bust one out yesterday after 51 after 51 days. After 51 days of
hold on, I need the breaking news. Like,
January 2nd was the last time I had released, and then 51 days, which was yesterday, and since yesterday was a major energy portal that was open and manifestation was at an all-time high,
Right.
Wait. Did you just say energy portal that was open, bro?
Man.
Two.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was 2.
I'm using
We
that.
never gonna see that in our lifetime.
Never. It was a mirror day.
Yeah.
And so I released that energy and so now we're on the next round.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Jason
I
got a follow up.
KG a little bit because I've practiced semen retention at one point. I was curious about what it was. I practiced it. I think I did maybe like 60 days or something like that. And it was.
You did 60. See, you beat me.
I wasn't trying to beat you, KG, man.
I ain't made it to 60 days.
Like Brent is like, bro, what are we talking about?
Like semen retention, what is that? Like,
but let me tell you something. It is so amazing. Like, even if you try it, like, a week or 2 weeks, let me tell you, I had so much energy. I had so much focus. I felt powerful. Like, I could heal the world and protect everybody. Like, that feeling was, it's a gem that we have not been taught because we've been programmed and conditioned to be these hypersexual beings and not knowing that you sharing your sexual energy is the strongest thing that you can. And so if people don't get and understand that, that's totally fine. Everybody's on their own walk. It ain't gonna work for everybody like that. But when you know who you are as a god and as a goddess, and you know what you bring, then you move.
I do have a question. So, are you still engaging in, intercourse?
Absolutely.
And you just not?
And that's where people got it twisted. I didn't say I was celibate. I said I'm practicing semen retention. I'm still having fun, going down, face coming up, looking like a Krispy Kreme donut, but I'm just not releasing. I'm just not releasing the seed.
The barbershop. Y'all said y'all wanted you're in the barbershop.
You don't release. You don't let go.
I got another question. So do you ever get blue balls? Is that even an issue? Does that happen?
I've gotten it twice.
Okay.
I have gotten it twice.
Okay.
Yeah, where I was like, oh man, like what the
you gotta get one out when you got blue balls, bro.
What do you do? What do you do in that?
What do you do?
If you get blue balls, what do you do?
I have learned to transmute that sexual energy back into myself. And now I have mastered the art of having an orgasm without having to, spit.
But how the hell you do that? I'm sorry.
Well, it takes it takes some meditation, it's breathing, it's a few things, and it might be too much. Listen, it ain't for everybody.
Yeah, it's work. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot.
It does. It does. It ain't for everybody.
I'm just stuck up on
hornballs. Everybody such hornballs. It's just like, you're gonna have sex. That's why everybody messed up in the head, fucked up in the head now, because you're sitting around letting any man enter you, or you entering any woman, and them soul ties are real. Because when you have sex like that, you are taking in all of their shit, and they are taking in all of yours.
That's true.
And nobody wants to talk about that shit. If you are hypersexual, if you are for the streets and you are married to the streets, you got some deeper shit going on with you that you have not resolved yet. You got some trauma issues, some childhood shit. You got some things going on. That's why you keep fucking everything that you see. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you just relax,
go ahead. Keep going.
Like, no, because everybody want to rag on me on this thing, and it's just like, this is my experience. This is what I'm doing for me and my spiritual journey and my spirituality. What you do is what you do. If you resonate with it, great. If you want to try it, if I'm giving you something to think about, great. If it ain't for you, then keep it the fuck moving. What I eat don't make you shit.
Wait, KG, I love it, man. KG came on a mission today.
You feel the passion.
All right, so let's move on, guys. I got some more topics we want to get into. Okay, so dating a single mom. Obviously, we're all of a certain age. It's almost inevitable now for a mature person to X people out for those reasons, but I do know people who do that. My question is not so much will you date a single mother with kids. My question is, does it matter to you how involved the child's father is or not, or how many possible fathers there are. The reason why I'm asking that is because if a woman just wants you to be a bonus father, are you good with that? Or is a woman who has a young child, or also doesn't matter what the child's age, is the father not around at all? Or are you going to have to be a full-time dad? Because will that run? How do you feel about in that, or those two different situations? And guys, whoever wants to jump in, go ahead and answer that question.
Man, oh, you got it, D? You wanna?
No, go ahead.
Being a father, Daddy D over here. I definitely would date a woman with kids, and she comes with the package. I believe that during the courting process, as you get to know this lady and her situation, it will reveal itself. And my thing is what the relationship is with the father. Is it toxic? Are you guys going back and forth? Are you guys constantly arguing? When is the last time you guys been intimate together? Is it, when the last time you guys, how recent is your guys' breakup? And all those factors, which would be come to light.
Hey, Dante, you kind of freezing a little bit. You have a better
you're
spot
in the matrix, bro.
I like that, KG. I like that.
Go ahead and try to fix your signal. Let's go to Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
For me, I don't have any kids and I've never been married. However, I've dated in the past. I've definitely been involved with relationships where women, had, have a child. And I would just say for me, I'm the type of man, I'm very hands-on. So if I'm committed to you and I'm in that relationship and I know you have a child, it's understood that at some point I'm gonna have to interact with that child. And so if I love you or if I care about you, then I have to reciprocate that with that child. So I've been in situations where I've dated women who the dad ain't involved at all. It was immature. And some dads only want to become it. They want to get involved when they see you.
Yeah, another man around.
And I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. And I've been in a personal situation where, I've dated this young lady, and shout outs to her. If she sees this, shout out to you. In the past, and I was so involved with the child that I forgot that wasn't my child. Like, I remember picking the kid up from school, and the teacher had something negative to say about the kid, and I'm like, wait, hold on, man, you ain't finna talk to me about this. I'm like, I had to get in the car, hey, baby, this is what we gonna do. You gonna do this, and then, I'm gonna take you to McDonald's, so don't tell your mama, and when things went south, I had the hardest thing for me to do.
Separate from the kids.
Bro, man.
You hear that a lot.
Very hard.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
It's, so if I move forward, if I'm dating a woman who has a child, I'm more slow in that process because of the pain and hurt that I experienced in the past with my previous situations. So I'm not saying that I'm going to X them all out, but I'm just move with caution and make sure that, if I'm giving that type of energy and that type of effort, that it's for the long haul.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want to meet the child if we're not going to be serious, because I love kids. I love children. And 9 times out of 10, me and your child, I'm going to like them, they're going to like me, we're going to get along, and I'm going to have this attachment. So I don't even want to meet them if I don't know for sure that we are going to be a pair and move forward, because more than 2 people are going to be hurt if and when it ends. And so I want to be 100% sure before I'm even introduced to the child that we are going to be something, because I don't want that, I don't want that hurt for nobody, because there's going to be an attachment.
Yeah. I think, you all made some really good points. I think one thing, and, I was raised by a single mother, and I make sure that this is important, is that
Same here.
Make sure you establish your own separate relationship with that child outside of the mother. And however you can do that, I think that goes a long way with, number one, the child accepting you and understanding that, you're really going to be if you guys are going to have established that you guys are going to be a couple, that you're going to be a staple in their life, that you definitely care about him as well as, the mother, him or her, as well as the mother, and that you look forward to not necessarily replacing their father, but being a father figure that can lead him or her, throughout their childhood journey. And I think that, I think the child appreciates that effort, trying to find something to bond with that child with, a lot of times it's easy when you have boys because we bond over sports, stuff like that. But it can be a little more difficult with the daughter, with the girl, to try to find something that you can bond with that child with, so that you guys can establish your own relationship that you can foster and grow.
So does gender matter? What if it's a girl, and what if it's a girl that the father is super involved? Now, do you take a point to then reach out to the father and you and him get an understanding, or do you let the mother be the liaison between the two of you?
Oh, I think both. I think that going into it, you and the woman, whoever you're courting or dating, y'all need to have that understanding. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if you have a proactive father, at the end of the day, you just a boyfriend, and that's that child's father, and you're going to be around this man's child, and that relationship didn't work between that man and that woman. You got to show respect, and at some point, I think it'd be very wise for you to go and introduce yourself when the opportunity presents itself, so that he can see you. Because at the end of the day, this is a strange man around my child. If you're dealing with a proactive father. So I think it's both. You letting the woman know, like, hey, look, at some point, I would like to meet the dad, so we can chop it up, and go that route.
Got you. All right, let Dante get back in here. Dante.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Jason. You definitely want to meet the father, see what the relationship is like, with the kid as well as the mom. Some red flags for me would be, if toxic relationship going on between the two, as they calling each other names and all that stuff. That would be definitely a turnoff, and that would tell me that maybe she has some more work to do in this department, or maybe she's still her, or vice versa. But as far as dating a woman with kids, that's the package. You're gonna take the whole entire package, and you're gonna step in and fulfill the role that's needed in those kids' lives. So if you need to be daddy, I'll be daddy. If you need me to step in and be a father figure, because not every woman's gonna put you in there. All right, now you gotta be daddy now, and you gotta, drill son and put him on punishment and do all that. Some women just want you just to be there, so somebody he can actually watch and learn from. So definitely, obviously I am dating a woman with kids, so definitely all for that.
I agree.
All right, good, man. Good. All right. Well, appreciate y'all's perspective on that, man. So let's move on. Okay, so again, it's a barbershop. So we're talking about the ladies that we're attracted to, that we like to date. May be different and varying, but at the end of the day, they're all beautiful women that times are starting to change. To KG's point, a lot of women are more independent. They make just as much, if not more money than us. So the world is really, the world is their oyster nowadays, and I'm happy for that. Like I said, like Brent said, I came from a single mother who worked hard in corporate America, so I've seen that. But a lot of times when I talk to guys, it seems like it's shifting, because we've always been the ones who told you got too much pride. Men are prideful. Men are prideful. Men are prideful. So is that still the case, or do you feel now it's kind of changing? Do women have more pride than men, or what do you think? Do women have more pride, the same, or I'll let you guys speak freely on that.
I think it's an individual thing. I think you can just totally take gender out of it, and it's an individual thing. Like because we both can be that. I don't know if one gender is more prideful than the other, because I have seen some women who will be dead ass wrong in their opinion or assessment in a certain situation, and it be proven to them, but they still stick to their guns as
That's
if
pride. That's pride.
they were right. And so and the same on the other end, like, I've done that before. So
right.
I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's an individual thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely just the personality of the individual, how they was raised, how they grew up. And a lot of Black household now, let's say single parent household with a mom and just a daughter, a lot of Black women are raising their children to be strong, independent, prideful, and the work that they do. So it's not the days of the 1900s to 1920s when a woman couldn't find a job and couldn't work, and only men was allowed to work. Now you're dealing with women being, like you said, the breadwinners. They getting all the degrees, they making the money. So that's because the dynamic in the household, for one, but also just how women are raised in this culture. And some cultures, like I think it was a video with a guy talking about Spanish women, like they were raised to serve their men and they were raised to do that and do that. But in the black household, a lot of women are just like, your daddy wasn't here, so you're gonna know how to be the man and a woman. You're gonna know how to make money. You're gonna be able to provide for yourself. You're gonna be independent. You don't need nobody else. So some women grow in that pride. So we're not taught that whole, how to, combine and be one of that partnership.
I'll say this, fellas. I definitely agree with a lot of what I'm hearing. My perspective is I think that the modern man nowadays is a little weaker. There are more households being brought up, by single parent households than they're head by women, and the man is absent. And so a lot of times you have a lot of brothers that want to do certain things, but they lack the ability because they weren't taught to walk as a man or to think as a man or to do things as a man because there was no man around. And so a lot of times you have these women who, you got these little girls looking up to their mothers because mom is wearing dad's hat in their hat, raising, paying all the bills. And so they're seeing that strength, and then seeing that strength, they can identify with somebody that looks like them. And in the back of their mind, they know that they're going to become them. And so it's easier for them to transition into that strength. And, for us men, because we don't see these things as often, it's more so of, well, we're being raised by mom's doing everything. So when I link up with a woman, I'm gonna kind of take the easy route. I'm not saying that it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that, a lot of brothers nowadays kind of take the back road, just ease and let things flow and let the woman take care of everything. And I believe that's why the respect level nowadays is starting to shift, where you have women that you just mentioned pride. They have pride that even when they feel like they're right and they know they're wrong, they still gonna think that they're right. It's because who are you? I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm this. I'm done this. I got this.
Right.
And this works.
So,
and
with that being said, do you feel circumstances, responsibility, earning more independence, does that lead to pride in a man or a woman?
In America,
I think that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Brent.
I think that pride is kind of. I think it's two things that kind of go along with pride. Number one is your ego, and then lack of accountability.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us, there's nobody to hold us accountable. You may not have had that female or male figure in your life, or the people that you hang with, somebody that'll tell you no, that tell you that you're wrong, that'll tell you you need to humble yourself, tell you that no, you can't approach it that way. And I think that with social media, with all the things that that are thrown at us, it's kind of teaching us to more so look at ourselves as, okay, we're great. We're you have the independent woman, you have the black.
Right. Hello?
I had a call come in.
Oh, okay, got you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And we're about to wrap up, guys. We got a couple more questions. So thanks for everybody for tuning in with us. Y'all hanging there with us. We're almost about done. Thank you, guys.
Hey, these comments are lit. These women are hilarious.
Where are the comments at?
Go ahead.
Wait, hold on.
Hilarious.
Go ahead, Brent. Or I'll let Brent get back in there. So with that being said, KG, you said something that kind of is relation to this next topic, right? And it's also in junction with the pride versus men or versus women. I hear a lot of guys talk about they don't hear women apologize anymore. They don't hear women say, hey, you know what? My bad. I'm sorry. I was wrong for that. Do you feel that way? Do women apologize anymore? And do you feel that could be a part of pride or ego? Or just what do you guys think? I don't want to lead your answers, but what do you think? Do women apologize anymore?
Yeah, I don't want to overtalk, so I'm a.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, go ahead,
you got
Jason.
something. Go ahead,
We
Jay.
in the barbershop, G.
Go ahead, man.
All right.
We over talking the barbershop.
Yeah, I don't think they have to. Again, it goes back to the type of culture that we live in. You got so many different support groups. You got so many different entities that support women, and I'm not saying that we don't have any, but they have more when it comes to that. And they know at the end of the day, when you're dealing with African American males, there's like this social stigma of who we are. So like, I know if all else fails, I can cry, or I can show some form of emotion, and everybody's going to believe me anyway. And he's going to have to prove himself in the court of law. So, and I'm not saying it to that extent, but what I'm basically saying that we're in a situation now where they don't have to, because society doesn't really put them in hold them to that accountability. It's always the man's fault.
Is that what you say at the end? It's always what?
It's always the man's fault, no matter what.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing, because it takes away of accountability. We all are human. We all make mistakes, men and women. And women are, by the grace of God, now they are in a position to where they can get their education, go into corporate America, be business owners, which is a great thing. But if you're going to participate in that market, and if you're going to do all those things, then you also have to take responsibility for the things you do right and also the things you do wrong. So it's a bad thing when you're in a situation and you can't, you won't take accountability for something you say wrong or do wrong.
Right. And I'll speak and I'll answer the question myself. I don't want to just be asking them. I think it can be like that sometimes, man. Quite honestly, in relationship in the past, I remember like there blatantly being someone being wrong and not wanting to say, I apologize. And sometimes, ladies, you don't understand. We would just love to hear that genuinely. And you say, I apologize. Because sometimes we do feel like we're always the one that's wrong. And we're always the one that have to apologize. And sometimes men, you might even get an apology from a man. He might not even mean it. He just needs to say, I apologize. So y'all can squash it and y'all can have sex. How many times has a man just apologized just so he can have sex? Let's be 1,000. We in the barbershop. So I was in a relationship that it was like, are you really going to sit there and not apologize? What makes it so bad for you to apologize to me? Because you understand it gives a man value. It gives a man that you value me enough, respect me enough to say, Rashid, I was wrong. I apologize. And I'm not even going to dig a hole after that. That's the quickest way to shut us up, because we never, I won't say never, we hardly hear that in today's society, to be on Jason's point. And sometimes it feels like we have to go battle the world. We have to go take on the world. We have to come home to be the man, to be the leader, to be the alpha, which we, most men that I hang around with, associated with, we value and we want. But at the same time, it takes two people. We're never right all the time, but we're also never wrong all the time. And then on top of that, it's almost like, and y'all say this, y'all chime in with this or not, it's sometimes we may say something and it could very be right, but they don't believe us or validate our thought till they hear from someone else. Third party validation. And I mean, I see y'all shaking y'all heads on that. So y'all step in and see, am I wrong? Because please tell me how you feel and kind of give me how you feel on that perspective in the topic.
Yeah.
Anybody
I'm
got
reminded
anything?
of it. Go ahead. No, I'm reminded of a situation, something similar to that, where until they talk to their homegirl or their bestie about said situation, and their homegirl is like, oh, nah, girl, like, you was wrong in that. Like, you you deserve to get that man an apology or something, and then they come back. So, yeah, because I think, again, to go back, their pride or their ego is a little hurt, that they have to perform that act. And that is just another thing, another personal issue that, a human has to get over. Because why is it so hard for you to admit that you're wrong? Why is it so hard for you to apologize? What's going on there with that? It's right out here in front of you, but you want to be so bullheaded to not, for the sake of what? What point are we proving here? And we're not getting anywhere with
Bro,
you.
I literally had one of my best friends in the world who's been married 15 years. He told me his wife hasn't apologized. He can't remember an apology from his wife in the last 5 years, bro. He can't remember boom, I step on your foot, I have to say apology. You know what I mean? Not that.
Not bad.
But my bad. I'm sorry. He has not heard an apology in 5 years. Something's wrong with that. Am I tripping?
No.
No.
That's problematic as fuck.
That's got ego written all over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Brent, you were going to say something earlier before you got you got your phone call. You want to jump in?
No, I was going to say that kind of, no one's perfect. We all make mistakes, and I feel like if a woman doesn't truly, to me, if she doesn't respect you, then she's not going to apologize.
Ooh.
If she truly respects you and respects the place that you have in her life, she will humble herself. And if she makes a mistake, she will apologize. So I look at it as a way of kind of determining where you stand in her life. If she can't form her mouth to say, I'm sorry, or I apologize for something that she did, I don't know, man.
Bars.
Yeah.
Dante, you got anything to add?
I think that's with women when they, some women, some men in general, they compete against each other, whether they might be intimidated about something. So because of that, I'm competing with you in this relationship because I may think I'm better than you, I make more money than you, or I think I'm more intelligent than you are, or whatever it is. I'm not apologizing to you. You don't deserve an apology from me. And that can go both ways. You ain't get what? Apologize? You be happy. You be lucky I'm talking to you. So it's maybe something like that.
Yeah. And that's basically what I told my buddy. I said, man, I hate to say this to you, brother, and I love you to death, but you're my guy. So I have to be honest with you. I think that, she has lost respect for you, brother. And there's no simplest form to say that. It's unfortunate because all guys know, like, when a woman's lost respect for you, I don't think there's no real coming back from that. From a guy. Like, ladies, y'all chime in the chat. Like,
it's a wrap.
Like R. Kelly said, when a woman's fed up. Right. Like, I don't know, man. So
get it, KG.
Right. All right, KG, were you gonna say something? If not, I'm gonna move on. KG, were you gonna say something, or we're gonna move on?
No.
I was gonna say something real quick, fellas. I was gonna say sometimes to apologize, whether you're male or female, it's a sign of weakness. By me apologizing, I'm admitting that I did something weak, or I did something wrong, or I made a mistake, and this person has one up on me, and I have to go to this person and admit my wrongdoing, and that's just not the right way of looking at that whole scenario. You can't say you love somebody and you can't fix your lips to admit when you did something wrong. I
got you.
I think, and just one last part,
go ahead, Dante.
Jog my memory. It's all comes with vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable to be able to apologize to somebody, because, like you said, you gotta little yourself, come back down. All right, I know I was doing all this earlier. Now I gotta come back to my little voice. You know what? I was wrong. But that's you being vulnerable. You have to be, that's growth in relationship. A relationship cannot grow if you cannot be or operate from a state of vulnerability. You have to be able to open up and be vulnerable with a person, and apologize and admit that you're wrong about something is a form of being vulnerable.
Right. Yep. So I'll say this to all the ladies in the chat, just from a guy's perspective. If you truly value your man and you respect him, if there is an apology that needs to be said, step out there and do that. Watch and see how he reacts and how he changes. And girl, you might have a new car in the driveway the next morning. I'm just telling you. But all right, so let's move on. All right, so you see the topic
energy never dies; it's only exchanged.
All right.
There you go.
Okay,
That's right.
All right, so IG model versus the girl next door. Which one are you wifing?
Girl next door.
Girl next door.
Yeah, definitely the girl next door. Them IG models.
I don't know what she doing next door.
Exactly. Don't be fooled by the girl next door.
Yeah, just because she ain't on camera.
Right. You know, she don't leave the house. She don't never leave the house, and it's a different car parked outside every other hour. Is that really the one you want? The girl next door, right?
Yeah.
They got
go off
OnlyFans now, man. They got.
What do you say?
Yeah,
So they're really one and the same, just on two different ends of the spectrum.
Could be. That's the thing. You got, yeah.
See, my take on the IG. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
My take on the IG model is that, it depends on what her motivation for being an IG model. Some people it's for attention.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Some people it's a hustle. And they use Instagram to make money. So I think I would want to know more about this IG model before I just say, oh, just because I see a picture, every other man seeing what could potentially be mine. So it's gonna have to be something more than that, something up here that's gonna have to attract and gonna make me connect with you versus just, your physical beauty. And the girl next door, they usually a little bit more wholesome. They generally more humble, and they usually got that IG model body, but they don't flaunt it like that for the most part. So,
but the girl next door is the IG model, right?
Right.
Can you have both? Right?
Especially in Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay. So let's piggyback off that question. Though. Okay, let's say you get whatever your lady is, whether you look at her, the girl next door, whatever, your lady. Are you okay with your lady posting provocative pictures online? Bikini, bent over, thigh out, leg, a little, showing a little cleavage. How do you feel if your lady that you're with, you're in a monogamous relationship? How do you feel about her showing her body parts and stuff like that online?
Is this before us or during?
No, y'all are together now. You are together.
But was she doing this prior as we were dating? Was she doing this already?
Yes. So 2 questions. That's a good question. Yes, she was. Do you expect her to change that while you're together? Or now that you've gotten together, she's in a committed relationship with you, and now she wants to do this because this just makes her feel free, and this is something she wants to do?
If this was something that she was doing before we started talking and she enjoys it and, that is her thing, or she getting the bag out of it, and I know this going in, once I'm in and time has gone by and I start feeling a way that she has been doing something that I've already known that she was doing, I can't, that's on me. That's on me.
Right.
Because I allowed it. I put myself in this situation. I done made my bed. Now I got to sleep in it. So are you going to suck it up and deal with it? Or you can leave the situation, which in turn is also a bitch move because you knew going in what it is.
But I will say this. I do feel like there are certain things you would do that you could do or that was okay for you to do when you were single. And then, now that you're in a relationship, out of respect for your partner, there may be certain things that you may not do. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, I think you kind of have to
compromise.
Compromise, yeah, and it's maybe a little bit of gray area when it comes to certain stuff like that.
Let's cheat,
Hey, real quick,
tell us down just a little bit more.
I like to say, if your pops, how would your pops feel about this picture? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Would your dad accept this? You know what I'm saying? Would he be okay with you posting this? Mm-hmm. If that's a yes, then okay, cool. If you think your pops wouldn't like it, then why you think I would like it?
Right. So from my perspective, I'll let you go, Jason. Go ahead.
I was going to ask because my phone cut off for a second. I was going to ask, what was the question?
So we talked about the IG model versus girl next door. What if you met the IG or whomever and they were showing like provocative skin pictures of themselves on social media? If y'all started dating and you were serious, are you okay with her continuing that? And if you started dating a woman who didn't do that in the beginning but wants to do that now that you're in a relationship, how would you feel?
Two questions. Okay, so for the first one, don't play yourself, pay yourself. If you know she's into something and she's been doing it before you got together and you know about it, who are you to come into a person's life and tell them what they can and can't do no more? Facts. Right. Secondly, if
He
you
said
dating
facts himself.
Yeah,
if
you're
you
right. That ain't your place.
Right.
yeah, no, you're out of pocket. You know, unless she wants to change. If you're dating a person and she's not doing that, and all of a sudden she flip mode on you, and now all of a sudden she's saying that, then y'all need to have that talk, because now that's unfair to you, because you took her at face value. This is who you said you were. This is who we agree. You know, you showed me this, and this is what I fell in love with. Now you trying to turn into this.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? You know,
Right.
I think that's a double-edged sword, but when it's all said and done, it all comes down to communication.
Yeah. So for my answer to this question is, you know, it's like you hear men all the time. I'm gonna put us on the sword. You hear men all the time talking about she's trying to change me, she's trying to change me, trying to change me. Well, we can't try to do that and go in and try to do the same thing. That's not equitable. With that being said, y'all know me. I'm all about the hustle. I think I was born an entrepreneur. So if she's getting it, if she's doing it for the money and people are paying her, she got a Fashion Nova contract, or she getting all this kind of stuff. Hey, do your thing, boo boo. And also, if it's a space for you to escape and that's your happy place, then I got enough respect for you that you have enough respect for me and our relationship that you're not going to do anything that's disrespectful to myself or you or anybody surrounding us. So I got to give you that grace. So that's how I look at it. So I don't think the IG model is any worse or less than the girl next door. I say, unfortunately for women, there's a lot of stereotypes that get put on them. That's unfortunate, but sometimes that's just the life in society that we live in. So with that being said, that's how I feel about it. Now, if you're just doing that and it's an outlet and you can't explain to me why, then I want to know, let's have a conversation. Right. What are you missing? What do you need? Is there something that I'm not providing for you? What you understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure out if it's not monetary, and if it doesn't make you happy, you can't really articulate why you're doing it, then let's try to peel back the layers and see what if I can help in any way.
Why you are doing it.
Yeah, what you chasing? Right. What are you chasing? Are you chasing attention? Are you chasing a thrill? What's the motivation behind? I think it's more of an understanding. But it's all comes down to ownership too. I mean, like if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't want to feel like I own you, and I want to, or vice versa. I want to feel owned and vice versa. So if you want to do that to make money, I'm going to support you, but I want to understand, what's the motive? How we doing this? How we doing this together? And if, like my guy said, if we're in a relationship, you was doing before and you wasn't doing it in your relationship, the respect part, are you going to, I want to see what you posting. I'm like, or at least you had a respect for me to say, look, baby, do you see these bathing suits? I'm going to post these on IG. You okay with these? Cool. Okay, cool. I can work with that. What I'm saying? We can compromise on that.
Could you marry?
You say what?
Could you marry? Like we're talking about relationship, girlfriends, but could you marry a woman?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, and that's part of family with. Right. That's kind of the part of why I invited you guys. I would like to think we're all marriage-minded men. Some people's timetables are different, but I think we're all marriage-minded. So me, absolutely, I wouldn't hold that against her. Again, I would do my own due diligence. I wouldn't let the streets make my decision for me or what other people are going to say. And sometimes, unfortunately, we get involved in what we're going to say, what our boys going to say, or what other people are going to say. So that if that's all I have to worry about with all the other things that I want to, peel back to see if I feel you could be my wife, if that's all I have to shift through, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, that modeling is an art for the most part. So, like you said, a lot of women and men use that as a form of release or to escape and to feel whole. So, but I would just definitely want to know off of this surface level. I want to know what's the motivation.
Right.
Because if you have to go there, if you go into your phone and post it, if that is what's bringing you peace and joy and your escape, then we got a lot more to talk about than than that. Like there's some, untapped issues going on there. If that's your place.
Jason, man, you got something to say. I can tell, Jason. Go ahead. Would you marry one?
No. I say it
You asked
again.
the question. Would you marry?
No.
Would you?
That's just not my lane. Look.
Okay,
look, everybody got a
explain.
lane.
We want to hear it. I knew it. Go ahead.
No, me personally, because that's not me, man. I'm not for the streets, man. Hey, them days, look. Now I played the field. Them days, look. So for me, the way I look at it is end game, man. If I have a son or daughter with you down the road, is that something that my son or daughter's gonna come home from, and somebody's bullying them because your mom is on Pornhub or OnlyFans and the kids are teasing them? Like I think of like how that's gonna affect your family dynamic. But at the end of the day, you can't judge nobody. You can't tell them no. It's just you have to be a good choice of character. Is this somebody that I'm able to be with? Is this something that I can tolerate? And me, I just know my limits. That's not my lane. I can't tolerate that. What's mine is mine. I don't share my plate of food with no man.
Okay.
The other thing too is, your woman is a representation of you. You know what I'm saying? As a man,
Boy, say it.
you know what I'm saying? So how she carries herself, how she portrays herself, how people see her, how she's perceived is a reflection on you. So depending on what she got going on, what she's out there doing, it's gonna make you look weak, or it's gonna make you look like a strong man that's leading her, in the family or whatever. So you got to keep that in mind too.
And how old is she?
Right.
I agree. Yes.
Right. I mean, how old are you? I mean, if you're 40 and you're doing this, Instagram ain't where you need to be.
But hey, what if she 40? What if she 40 and that body bing bing bow? Like, what if she look like a 20-year-old?
That's a monster.
All the hard work.
It's a new day. They out there. They come a dime a dozen. They're there.
All the BBLs.
What's going on here?
Everybody going to Columbia, DR.
What's going on here and what's going on here?
Look,
everybody got a bad body nowadays.
Yeah,
Right.
if she listen, dude, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If she that bad and she 40 and she ain't married, something wrong with her. And that's for a brother too. If you boys Cujo walking around here, you got all this money, you successful, and you ain't married, something wrong. And you want to be married, something wrong with you. And I hate to be that blunt, but it is what it is. Because
God, we think that all the time. So you're not reinventing the wheel. Guys think that all the time. Like, why is she still single? She must be crazy.
Right. So Halle Berry, for example.
Right.
I got in trouble with that one.
Like, what is she doing? It can't always be the guy's fault. If you're having multiple relationships and you still haven't been able to get to that point. All right. So last question of the night, guys. Last question of the night. Each individual guy. What is peace to you? What is peace to you in a relationship? What do you need for your peace to maintain your sanity and maintain your relationship staying intact? KG, you first.
What is peace? Peace in a relationship to me is it being easy and not forced. If it feels forced, then ain't no peace. It should be easy. Anything that's for you, like if it's for you, it should be easy. And so peace for me is it being easy, us communicating our thoughts and our feelings, and not with the riffraff and the rah-rah. That's peace to me. It being easy, like Sunday morning. Word to the Commodores.
Got you. Go ahead, Dante.
I would say, understanding. Does it flow? Do you understand me? Do you get me? Are you patient? With me, and I'm patient with you as far as things that go into relationships, how your mood swings, my mood swings, or whatever's going on, obstacles that come. It's really just like it comes easy. It should just come easy and just flow, and it doesn't take much work, so to speak, if that makes sense. It's like just kind of just clicks like it's on. That would be peace. I mean, definitely the arguing, the up and down, the toxic, we definitely not doing that, So once, I see that, it's like, yeah, you nice, but I need my peace. So,
right.
So,
all right, Brent, what's peace, man?
So for me, because all relationships are gonna have their good times and their bad times. But I think for me, when I know that I'm in a peaceful relationship, is how we function during those hard times, how we resolve conflict. You know, do we go to bed mad at each other? Do we wake up mad at each other? You know what I'm saying? Is it something that I'm literally thinking about all day and it takes me away from whatever my job is or whatever my responsibilities are because I'm still thinking about what we got into it about? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're with the right person, you're able to work through those difficult and tough times without being able to function normally.
Yeah.
You can eat, you can sleep, you can go about your day. You can, the person is not really you're not vibrating on, on a low level. You feel even when you have those difficult moments, you're still able to reach a point of high vibration so that you can continue to function in your role in a relationship.
Gotcha. I like that. All right, Jason. Peace, man. Peace to you in your relationship.
In a relationship, peace to me is when I look at you, I see my paradise. Because life is hard. We spend all day working. You don't know if you're going to make it home when you leave them doors. It's just so many different variables that can be negative, but also positive. But when it's all said and done, after I'm done dealing with the world and I come home, you are my paradise. No matter what I go through, I want to see this journey with you. You make my life worth it, and I feel safe. Because the world ain't gonna like you. Look, you can look at these goofy comments. The world ain't gonna like you for what you made, how you look, what you talk about, whatever. But at the end of the day, I need you to be my paradise.
Right.
Straight up, just that safe space. Somebody I can talk to, somebody that I can grow with, somebody that I can spend my days with. And at the end of the day, it's you and me against the world, baby. Let's go.
Right. I love that, man. I love that. And to me, man, peace to me, brother. I said this earlier. We go out and battle this world in a world that we have to fight with one hand tied behind our backs. And just a helpmate, a woman that knows my plight, who I can come home and decompress to, that I can come home and be vulnerable to, tell her my hopes, dreams, wishes, and aspirations, and her listen to those and pour into me. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally.
And not weaponize it.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
there you go.
And that, because it's simple. Like, you guys gave great answers. And, if you remember, I was married for 10 years. So I know that everything's not going to be lollipops and rainbows. And right. It's work, and you have to go through those things, every day. So even with what you said, Brent, try to never go to sleep mad at each other, wake up mad at each other. You right. say that, but that shit is hard.
It's hard as fuck.
It's hard, but that's always the goal. That's always the goal. Don't get me wrong. That's always the goal. But just, man, and I always talk about this, just to know somebody is at home or I'm at home and we're pulling in the same direction. Because life in this world is a tug of war. If we pull in the opposite direction, that rope never moves. So if we're pulling in the same direction, that's peace to me. And at the end of the day, man, just something not even deep or nothing deep or profound. Sometimes knowing when I need a break, knowing when I don't want to go to that function that I don't want to go to. Like, you know what? I'm going to let you watch the game. And I just want to sit on the couch, kick my shoes off, turn up the sound bar as loud as I want, put my hand in my pants and watch the game. Like, that's peace to me. Like just let me really have some quiet time. That's it. Just once every now and then, and I will give you the same. So in a nutshell, just to understand what makes the other person tick, like Dante said, like knowing your moods and when it's time, you know what? He needs a break. I'm gonna go grocery shopping, or I'm gonna go to my girls, or whatever, and I'm gonna reciprocate that. But for you to know me that way, that's peace. That's peace to me.
I agree.
So, hey guys, I appreciate you guys so much, man. We went a little bit longer, but I'm long-winded, and we had great conversation, great answers, man.
I can keep
right.
going,
We
bro.
keep going.
I got my
Last
own
time we went for 2 hours.
minutes,
I'm not gonna do that this time, but I thank you guys
I learned something
so
from
much.
you, man.
Huh?
I learned something from you, KG, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna call you though, man. But I learned something from you, bro.
So at the end of the day, I'm gonna let everybody let us know everybody what you're doing, what you got coming up. Give us your IGs if you don't already have this. Please tell us what's going on in your world. Let us follow you. Let all these people support you. KG, you got the floor first.
First, I want to say to the audience, thank you for logging on. No one can make you happy but you. You looking for someone to, you complete me, all of that. No, you have to complete yourself first. And then take that energy and when you find your match, then that peaceful relationship will come. So you got to look within first before you try to put it on somebody else. So secondly, Magic After Dark, The Quiet Storm, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Central Time here in Houston, Sunday through Thursday. And I also have my Quiet Storm, Island Vibes Moscato. We're doing good. You can order it at quietstormmoscato.com. And thank you. I love you. And I'll see you on the radio.
Right, my man. All right, Dante, what you got? Hey, did you tell them where they can get the wine? KG,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Quietstormmoscato.com. Quietstormmoscato.com.
Dante, what you got for us, man? And parting comments.
Got a couple things brewing. Between now and then, you can just find me on my Instagram, conscious_godbody7. I'll actually be in Houston next month for a crawl for the culture. My fraternity brothers is throwing a bar crawl, so I'll be down there.
Hit me up.
I'll definitely reach out to some of y'all to link up. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's all that's going on with me.
All right. Let's go, Brent.
Yep. So, I'm in commercial real estate. So if anybody's looking to buy some commercial property or sell some commercial property, hit me up. My Instagram is at Brent Nashon. Same thing, Facebook. Also, I have my own supplement line that I'm working on that I'm going to be launching pretty soon. So for those looking to find a supplement to help in their weight loss or, building muscle or help you, in the bedroom, whatever it is you're looking for, that edge or that spark, your boy got you. So stay tuned for that. That's pretty much it for right now.
Cool, man. All right, Jason.
So I'm gonna be straight up with it. To the fans of the show, to the castmates, good and bad, man. Live your life, and don't worry about what people say or how they perceive you. Enjoy your life. You only have one life to live. With that said, follow me. My nonprofit is called I Am. It's www.iyamm.org. You go in there, check out some of our programs coming to you real soon in the Houston area. We'll be located on the southwest side of Houston.
Nice.
That's pretty much it.
Well, cool, man. And I'll say my 2 cents again. Thank you guys so much. And I am Rashid, the Car God, on Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel called Car Gods. Make sure y'all check that out. I'm about to kind of remind you guys what I've been doing. So you're going to get a clip of a sizzle reel, and then we're going to start the second season. I'm going to be dropping some more episodes of my Car Gods. And thank you guys so much for following us on this platform. Also, I got to give a shout out to my baby. Shout out to Simone. Y'all follow Girl Simone. Is That Legal on YouTube. and her social media. And guys, it's been a pleasure. I gotta have you guys back so much. This was great. And before I forget this, I'll be remiss not to mention this. I went a little longer than we expected, but it was so good. Hey guys, if you're free, we got we had 700 in the chat. Thank you guys so much. We love you. If you would do me a favor right now, after you leave, go support Jay and Joy. Right now, they have a new podcast starting today. I just put it in the comments. Check them out. I think they went live at 8:00. Go check out Jay and Joy's new podcast. Go support them. Show them some love. It's called Failure to Communicate. TWO. Go check them out. Show them some love. That's my RTL fam. I wish them nothing but the best. Until next time, thank you everybody so much. We love you guys, and we out. Thanks, fellas.
Black man is God. Black woman is God. Believe in the God in you.
Hey, speak that, God.
I say.
All right. Y'all be easy, man.
Take it easy.
Peace. All right.